Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hack the Mountains 3.0. On behalf of the entire HTM team, I, Ajay Kumar, would like to welcome you all to this community-based hackathon. We are regularly conducting such workshops and webinars, including HTM Qubits, in order to strengthen your skills as developers and to help you perform better in the upcoming hackathon. Today, we are going to have a webinar presentation by the phenomenal Mr. Indra Ashish, and his topic is Introduction to App Development. Mr. Indrashis is the founder and CEO of Bazira Software Solutions LLP. Indra Ashish is an award-winning serial entrepreneur, startup mentor, angel investor, motivational speaker, corporate, and sales trainer based out of India. Indrasi started his entrepreneurial journey as the founder of one of India's leading software, web, app development, and digital marketing organization named Bariza Software Solutions in year 2013. The company has gained a reputation of assisting small to medium scale ventures globally to attain the best online presence. I can talk on and on about him and about the achievement he has, but I would like to introduce himself further. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ajay, for the warm introduction. And I really want to thank the event organizers to go ahead and provide me with the opportunity to come and speak to all of you today. And the topic on which I'm going to talk today, it's one of my favorite topics. It's more about, introduction of the beginner in the world of app development. However, before I get into the topic, I would like to tell something about myself. Well, I am a person who believes in innovation, who believes in thinking, and uh, when I start thinking, the idea, I start going ahead and draw the plan to go ahead and transform the idea into reality. Why exactly I'm telling this thing to you, I will tell you towards the end of this entire session. All right. So let us start with today's session with your permission, Ajay. Will that be fine?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, sir. Continue.
Okay. So can I have the presentation out here, please? Great. So here we do see that this is a presentation, small presentation. It's about the beginner's guide to app development. Now, if I go ahead and talk about apps, the first thing that comes in our mind, what exactly is an app? Or if you are on the development side, the question that should be coming up to you is that what is an app development? To be very honest, if I was you, I would have had the same query. And the answer is pretty simple. Mobile application development is a process of creating apps that run on any platform, Android or iOS, with everything you need right at your fingertips. It makes our life easier. It helps us to go ahead and operate the business. If you start going ahead and if you consider yourself to be the business person, all right, and you're planning to sell your products online, this is the world of digital media. This modern world is all about going online. Above 90% of people spend time online throughout the day, if not the entire day. So if you are able to go ahead and capture the online world, you will be able to thrive on today's day, especially post pandemic. Because post pandemic, what we have seen is that e-commerce businesses have generated maximum benefit or maximum revenue during this pandemic era, and they have grown drastically. And what exactly helped them to do that? That simple idea, the idea of going ahead and offering the right product to the right customer, reaching to the right customer, and creating an interface which will be user friendly and which will help the customers to place the order right away. And what better way you can do that other than going ahead and developing an e-commerce website? And the best way is that if you have an e-commerce app in place. So we need to understand what are the different kind of apps that a business owner can go ahead and place an order for, or you as an app developer can plan to go ahead and learn developing. So there are three different kind of apps on which you can work on. So we can widely consider that there are three different kind of apps. One is native, the other one is hybrid, and the third one is web app. Now, when we're talking about native app, the name itself doesn't give you a single clue what exactly is this term indicating. An application written to work on any specific device. It can be an Android device or it can be an iOS device or an Apple device. So this particular app is designed or customized or developed based on the customer's requirement, and it will work, or rather it's developed and coded based on the device the customer is choosing. He can choose either Android or iOS. Now, the pricing does play an important role. Native apps are really expensive because if you want your customers to buy native Android app and native iOS app, that means you will have to ask your customers to buy two apps. This is the business point. If you are a freelancer or planning to run your own IT company, or you want to offer your services to any business, being an app developer, you need to have a proper understanding of the service or the costing of the service that you're offering to your customers. So, native app is, or rather, native platform is the platform which will be costing more than the other two. Now, let's come to the web app format. As the name suggests, the web application software is this, like this particular application software runs in a web browser, unlike the software programs that run locally and natively on the operating system of the device. So you can go ahead and run this particular application on web browser. It can be on cloud, it can be in any hosting server. So a web app will be there online. And the third one, that is the hybrid app. The name suggests what exactly it's going to deal with. Like, for example, an hybrid app is a software application that comes with the element of both native and the web applications. That means you get all the good qualities of native apps and web apps. Both of them are combined together and it comes up with a hybrid app. Now, you need to understand one thing. If your customer, all right, if you have a customer who doesn't have that amount of budget to invest in developing an app, and the person has, the requirement, that you can go ahead and deliver, offer hybrid app, because hybrid app is going to do the needful. It is simply going to help you to develop an app which is going to function in both Android device as well as iOS. So if you are considering yourself as a freelancer or an individual offering service to any business, consider going ahead and presenting your products by understanding your customer's need. It is very important for you to understand your customer's need. Why? Because if I do not have the budget to go ahead and invest in getting a native app, and you are keeping on offering the native app to me, I will pass on to your offer. But again, if you go ahead and say that, the native app, it's a good idea, but it's kind of expensive. But I can suggest you something which can fit your requirement, but will be within your budget. So hybrid app or web app will just do the needful. So you need to understand your customer, understand the budget of the customer, what is the scale in which the customer is running the business, whether it's a small scale business, medium scale business, or a large scale business. And then you go ahead and offer the right product to the customer. Now, when we are talking about application development or let's say app development, what is important in this entire scenario is that you need to understand the difference, or rather, you need to understand the products, like, for example, native app or hybrid app or web app, these products so thoroughly that you can easily differentiate, or you can easily tell the difference between these platforms. So the next slide is going to discuss about the difference between the native and the hybrid app. Now, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the pricing difference is quite obvious. All right. Leaving the pricing difference, the native apps are developed specially for one platform, whether it's Android or iOS. This is the main difference. But the hybrid app are native apps, but either parts or entire application is a desktop website adapted to a web view display. So it works in both the platforms. Example of a native app is the WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp day in, day out. The morning time, the moment we wake up, the first thing that we do is that we check if there is any WhatsApp message, if any of our friends have texted us, if we got response from the clients. So the WhatsApp is one of the most popular apps used globally. And this particular app is basically developed in the native platform. Right? It's a native app. You can consider saying that. And the example of hybrid app is the Facebook app. What is a Facebook app? Now, Facebook app, you do, or rather, you can go ahead and open the Facebook app on the web browser, as well as you can download the Facebook app on your mobile device. Now, when this particular app is working on both the platforms, it simply denotes one thing, that it's a hybrid app. So now, if anyone asks you, or rather, asks you to give you an example of a native app, you can easily say it's in WhatsApp, or ask you to give you an example of a hybrid app, you can easily say the Facebook app is a hybrid app. Now, the most important question which comes into your mind, or rather, a person, let's say, for example, today I am a business owner and I'm looking forward to develop an app. I will not know what is a native app. I'll not know what is a hybrid app or a web app. What I'll be requiring for is that I'll be looking for an app which will help me to sell my products. Now, if I go ahead and get all this information about the native app and hybrid app, I will be confused. From the place where I'll be standing, I would like to know which app is better, because obviously I would like to have the best product or the best app in place for my business within my budget. To be very honest, native apps are far more superior when compared to hybrid apps. The reason is it's very simple. They are completely customized for a particular platform, whereas hybrid apps face a lot of latency issues and limit the user experience. So if you consider being a business person, you want your customers to have an enhanced experience while using your app, you would be going ahead and suggesting the customer that the customer should go for native apps. But again, if the customer doesn't have the budget, you cannot help. In that case, you have to offer the hybrid app. But there is a difference. And if the customer asks you, you have to be honest. Because in business, I have been operating my business for the past 10 years and we operate globally. And when I do go ahead and meet a customer, whether it's in India, and I do keep on traveling in Australia, USA as well. So when I meet any B2B clients of mine, I'm very much clear and honest up on the client's face. I do not want any kind of misconception. I do not want any kind of misunderstanding with my client. Whatever you can offer your client, tell that directly. The client might not like it. But again, if you are making fake commitments, the client will feel later on that you are miscommitting and you are not honest. And that is not good for your business. And that does not serve your business in the long run. So be honest, give them options. Tell them that if the customer doesn't have the budget, give them an option what exactly they can opt for. But always make sure you mention the best one, and you can tell them that this is what exactly the best one costs. And if you go for it, all your problem will get resolved. But unfortunately, if the customer doesn't have the budget, tell the customer on the face that unfortunately right now you might not invest that amount, so you should go for hybrid or web app. But later on, when you start generating more revenue, you can certainly opt for the native app. So This is something which I want you guys to know. If you are planning to start your own venture as a freelancer, or if you are an app developer yourself, or learning an app developer in the long run, maybe you're planning to have your own company, you need to have the right approach for your customers. Because one thing that we all need to be sure, knowledge of app development will not come into the picture until we get the right customer. You cannot develop app for yourself until you have a proper business venture in your mind. And if you are offering a service, or rather this your knowledge of app development in form of service for other businesses, it's important for you to hook the sale. And to hook the sale, you need to be honest with the customer, and you need to show the customer that you know the job. So you should be appearing as a knowledgeable individual in front of the customer. Now let's move to the next slide. The next slide is about mobile app development software, or the softwares which are basically used for these application development. If you are already learning, you must have already heard of these software. If you are planning to learn, this information might be handy for you. Or if you're new to it, you can go ahead and learn this information. So there are different softwares that can be used for developing application, whether it's for Android or iOS. So mostly, what we use Jammy F for developing Android apps for our customers. Other than that, people do use Buddy, AppyPie, Cobiton. So these are different like technologies that are used for developing the app. For iOS, we as a company we use Ionic and Xamarin. But again, there are companies who use Swift C. Firebase is something which is really in demand in the international market at present. Other than that, augmented reality tools, AI tools, like these are different things, and I'll come up to it later on if I get some time. But again, these are different platforms which are used to go ahead and develop and like iOS apps or apps for the Apple device. Now, the question, if you are following this session for the last 18 minutes, the question that should be coming in your mind is that how to start the entire process, or rather, if you have not yet started, what is a process that will help you to go ahead and take the first step towards application development? Well, to be very honest, to be a mobile app developer, one must possess the software development skills and knowledge. If you do not know coding, if you do not have clear idea about coding, it gets difficult for you to go ahead and code an application. So it is recommended for you to have a bachelor's degree in computer science or something similar in the similar discipline, which will help you to have a clear understanding of the coding. Because when you will be working on the real time project, whether it's for any company, whether it's for yourself, or whether it's for your client, you will have deadlines which you have to meet. Because if you are your let's say for example, if you are working for a business, the business invests and business will go ahead and expect a return. So when the business is investing for having an application in place, the business will want one simple thing. It will want a particular date within which they can install and launch the app. Once the app is launched, they will go for different marketing strategies, different stuffs through which they can generate revenue, because the business does not run without revenue generation. Even if I do not consider that you are providing service to any other business, let's say you are an entrepreneur, you have a good business strategy, you have a business idea, you have identified a pain point. Pain point means an area, uh, like a product and service which is going to go ahead and resolve a particular area or a particular problem which a certain segment of potential customers are facing. That means these customers whom you are going ahead and targeting, they will be a potential customer. So if you are going ahead and launching your own app, you need to be sure about the coding, because even if you have a team or if you're doing it yourself, you need to go ahead and have a deadline. So deadline is something very important, and you can meet your deadline when you have proper knowledge of coding. Yes, there's always opportunity for learning, but you need to have the basic understanding of the coding. Now, often I meet individual or youngsters who come and present business module or business presentation, and ask for different kind of investment. Considering I also work as an angel investor and startup mentor, they come up with a question that, you know what, they do not have budget to go ahead and to hire a developer, or they do not have much idea about coding. So what exactly they should do? To be very honest, you can definitely learn the coding yourself, but again, you need to have that definite time frame in your mind. If you do not have the budget, you do not have idea about the coding, you need to train yourself, you need to be focused, and you need to understand that you know there are lots of people out there who do not know anything from the very beginning. But again, they kind of self-train, and they kind of try, they start learning in the entire process. So if you are planning to start your own venture, if you have that zeal in you, let's say for example you do not have that particular degree, bachelor's degree in computer science as well, but does that mean you cannot learn coding? No, it doesn't mean that. If you have that zeal, if you want to do it, you will be able to go ahead and learn this entire process. If you have that patience and that zeal and that understanding, that logic, it will certainly go ahead and serve the purpose. Now, if you ask me, what is the best platform for you to learn coding? I will suggest you can always refer to Google. The Google Android Developer Library will go ahead and give you sufficient information which will help you to take the first steps. But if you if I had been in your place, and maybe if I didn't have any knowledge of app development, what would have I have done? I would have simply appointed some industry expert. I would have taken the training, and then I would have started my journey in the field of application development. Now, considering I believe most of you who are watching this webinar right now are youngsters, and you are in that particular time in your life where you would be deciding, or rather you are in two minds about what exactly you should be doing, whether you should be pursuing a career in application development. What is the future? We all have been there. Even I have been there. Before starting entrepreneurship, even I had a lot of questions. So it's absolutely normal to have questions. So if you have queries regarding your career, you are on the right track. Uh, to be very honest, if you have chosen to be an Android developer, the future is really promising. Uh, it's not surprising to see that the job outlook for app developers are really looking good in the present era, especially post pandemic, when different companies are especially opting for going online. There are many businesses who are closing down their physical operation, and they are planning to go and sell their products online, and that's a very good sign for any app developer or for any IT company or this entire IT field. According to BLS, an estimated 409,500, that means 4 lakhs 99,500 jobs will be added to the economy in this particular field of app development. The scope of Android app development has increased greatly, and especially in India, the future is really bright. If you have decided to learn app development, you have a huge opportunity, and there's loads of scope for you to go ahead and flourish in future. Especially now, different telephone companies like Vivo, OnePlus, they're launching mobile phones with new updated devices. We all know there are different Android phones which are being launched. So there's a different version of application development. If you are into Android, let's forget apps for time being. A completely Android app for telephones. I'm not talking about business apps. I'm talking about telephone applications. So you can actually have great future in this particular field, and Android app development is the future, uh, especially in India in the coming years. That's for sure. Now, let us understand few things about entrepreneurship. Now, considering I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I do go ahead and encourage a lot of youngsters to come up and take the first step towards entrepreneurship. I would like to dedicate the next few minutes in this particular topic, on like talking on this particular topic. To be very honest, entrepreneurship is about creating opportunities. It's about creating uh, opportunities with lots of unique ideas. It's about resolving problems. Now, if you have that spark of being an entrepreneur, if you are innovative, if you have certain products and services in your mind which can resolve the burning problem out there in the world right now, you can certainly take the first step towards it. And one of the main things that most of the entrepreneurs and most of the startups are doing right now is they are getting an app in place for selling different products. Now, I'll give you a small example. Uh, Earlier this year, we launched a particular app for a t-shirt selling model, or rather a particular business who is selling t-shirts, funky t-shirts. And although the nature of the business is not resolving any burning problem, but again, the reason I am telling you, or rather, giving you this particular example, is because nowadays we have seen different startups coming up who are selling different, attire-based products. Whether we consider Bewakoof or Soul Store, these are leading platforms where they are selling, young, funky T-shirts. And there are many other startups who have decided to go ahead and start their venture by selling T-shirts. To be very honest, it's one of the most cost-effective venture. You do not need a huge amount of investment, but again, you can actually go ahead if you do everything properly. You can create your brand, you can create your company, you can go ahead and start nailing your customer from the very first day if you do everything properly. And one of the most important thing of doing that is having a proper online presence. And on today's date, if you want to thrive, you want to go ahead and have a better opportunity in the market, you need to have a proper website, a proper application in place. So you need to have an idea about how exactly you can use these web apps or mobile apps to go ahead and sell your products. Other than that, it's very important for you to go ahead and observe and learn. Learn from the mistakes of your competitors. If you, let's say, for example, you are planning to sell t shirts online, you're not the first business who is going to do that. There are thousands of other businesses who have already done that. Do a bit of competitor analysis. Just track what are the things that they did which didn't work out. Do not repeat the same mistake. Go ahead and find out what exactly they did to go ahead and overcome the challenges that was laid in their path of achieving the success. After that, after doing a proper competitor analysis, do a proper market analysis. Go ahead and mark your target customer. If you are going ahead and targeting youth, go ahead and come up with funky designs, colorful designs. If you're targeting, professionals, come up with soothing designs, stylish professional designs. So target your market and then come up with your product and plan the entire strategy to promote your product. That is very important. After that, what you need to keep in mind, considering we are talking about application development today. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, it is very important for you to understand, if you want your business to thrive online through website or through apps, you need to go ahead and adapt simplicity. By that, what exactly do I mean? I mean that you need to create an user interface which is easy to understand. Now, if I am an user and I am, or rather, I'm your potential customer, I'm interested in purchasing your product. I visit your app, but again, your app is completely confusing for me. What I'll do is that I'll simply log out from your app and I'll go to some other app. I do not have time to go ahead and sit and figure out your app. One of the main reason why the leading food delivery app, Swiggy, has become a success is because their entire interface was completely user friendly. They did not go ahead and try to complicate stuff. It's the simplicity which worked for them. And as a result, all their competitors was logging when they became the industry leaders. Lastly, what you need to keep in mind if you want to leverage development for your entrepreneurship or for the journey of entrepreneurship is you need to understand your app or your website is not going to sell your products until you market your products properly. Simplicity of your app, function functionality of your website, all these things are important. But again, you need to have a proper planning for marketing your products. You need to reach your customers properly. For that, you need to utilize proper digital media. If you have budget for running Facebook ads, go for it. If you have budget for running Google ads, go for it. Do search engine optimizations. These things work. These things create brands. If you have budget for going ahead and running television ads, very good. But if you are a startup, I don't think it's a good idea that you would be purchasing, time on television to play your advertisement or on radio. But instead, go for other media, digital media, which helps you to reach your target customer. And in this entire journey of being an app developer, what you need to do is you need to have that faith in yourself. You need to have faith in whatever you're doing. This journey of being an app developer, and even if you are an established app developer, or once you become an established app developer, you need to understand technology is always evolving. So you need to upgrade yourself with the technology. If you're not upgrading yourself with the technology, you will be lagging behind somewhere. All right. Um, I'll be very honest with you. When I started my journey as an entrepreneur, when I started my own IT company in the year 2000, like towards the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, there was nothing that I could ever think of which was related to AI or AR, intelligence, or augmented reality. There was nothing called IoT as such. It was at least it was not that famous. But again, with time, okay, over the past 9 years, 8 9 years, these things are in, and in the coming 10 years time, or maybe lesser than that, 8 years, consider 2030. These platforms are going to thrive. These are the future. So if I do not go ahead and upgrade my products and services based on that, I won't be able to survive the competition. In the same way, each and every person in the field of technology, you guys need to evolve. You guys need to keep yourself upgraded. You guys need to keep on learning, because this entire journey, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are an application developer or you are simply going ahead and planning to do a proper job, obviously if you're doing a job, you would be going ahead and joining a company as a junior, and you will not like to stay in that position throughout your life. Obviously you will be looking forward to have a proper growth in your career, financial growth, and that is only possible if you keep on upgrading yourself. So keep on studying, keep on upgrading yourself, because this journey does not end. I mean, you can keep on upgrading and improving yourself. That is what exactly you can do. Like in today's date, we have different upcoming technology, and trust me, by 2025 these things will be taking over the world. If not taking over, if it's too much to say, but again, it will be in, it's already in. We already know that Facebook has started metaverse with augmented reality. We already know the introduction of 5G in our life, artificial intelligence, IoT, that is part of data science. Everything functions based on data science. Big Fortune 500 companies, they are investing in this particular field, IoT and data science. cloud-based apps, instant apps. These are the future of IT. So keep on learning, keep on upgrading yourself, and you will see that there is no end to your success. Before I end this particular webinar, all right, because I have only 4 minutes in my hand. Um, at the very beginning of this particular session, I mentioned about the idea, something related to idea. And like when I went ahead and said that everything begins with an idea, and it's a never ending process. What exactly I mean by that? When we perceive a particular thought in our mind, when we perceive, if you're an entrepreneur, you have perceived that okay, you are coming up with a product which is going to solve certain problem. Or let's say, for example, you are a student, you are lost, you do not know what career to opt for, and you decide that you want to be an app developer. Whatever thought or idea that you have perceived in your mind, the moment you perceive it, that thought, that becomes your reality. Now, the difference between your reality that you are living right now and the reality that's inside your head is something that we call, or we all know as, action. So you need to take the first step towards it. If you have an idea, if you perceive something, if you want to do something, if you have that thing in your mind, it can be anything in this world. Let's say, for example, let's go off topic. If you want to go and join film industry, if you think you have the skill sets, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. But again, you need to take the first step towards it. It's very important to understand the moment you take the first step towards your goal, the remaining steps just follows. And by saying it's a never-ending process, whether you are a successful entrepreneur or you're a successful app developer or you're successful anything in this beautiful world. But the beauty of this entire universe is that you keep on upgrading yourself. It keeps on evolving. 20 years ago, the life, if I had, like, forget 20 years, let's say in the year 1990, 1980, you can check with your parents. If anyone told them that, in the year 2022, you'll be carrying, cell phone devices, which will be also working as television, where you'll be watching movies in different apps like Netflix, Hotstar, they would be thinking that the person is high, or the person is, he has gone mad, completely mad. But again, things change. It has evolved. Right now you're carrying, I personally say that you're carrying television in your pocket. You can watch videos, you can watch entertainment videos, videos related to learning, videos related to, blogs, vlogs, whatever you want to watch. You just can watch at your convenience. Whatever you're feeling like, you can watch it. And if you consider speaking to someone, if you can do time travel, you speak to someone in 1980, if you had given them this idea, they would have felt that, this entire idea is completely a scam. But again, this is reality in 2022. And trust me, there will be much more sitting here in 2022. I'm telling you, in 2052, maybe I won't be there, maybe you will be old, maybe we all will be there to witness. But again, we will have a lot more in our hand, and all we need to do is that we need to keep on working, and we need to keep on upgrading ourselves. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Ajay. I'm done with the presentation.
Thank you so much, sir, for a very informative discussion. I'm sure everyone have learned a thing or two. We can now move on to the questions. So, guys, if you have any question, please post it in the chat box below. And we have some questions. We can have that. So, first question is from Duke. Can you provide me the roadmap for app development?
See, the first thing is, you. I need to understand. Are you looking forward to have a roadmap from the point of view as an entrepreneur, or an individual who is working for a business? Now, let's say, for example, I'll give you answer for both. All right. Let's say you are a business person, all right, and you are looking forward to have a roadmap to develop an app. The first thing that you need to keep in mind is uh, what exactly are the products you're dealing with, all right, and based on that you need to draw the user interface so that it becomes easier for your customers, your potential customers, to like download your app and get to see your products. You need to have an understanding that a person on today's date doesn't have time. You, me, you guys are, you might be student, I might have some other meetings. I don't have time. But again, if I have a requirement, let's say I have 5 minutes in my hand and I'm just going ahead and checking a particular app and I find, okay, I like this particular stuff. Okay, let's buy it. And when I'm going to buy, if the entire process is slogging and it's taking too much time, my 5 minutes, it's gone. I'll be just, I'll do it later on and I'll just go to the meeting. So you need to understand the user interface, how exactly you need to draw the user interface at first. That's a roadmap, number one. Number two, you need to understand what fee or rather what platform that you will be selecting to go ahead and build your app in. Like for example, if you will be selecting iOS or an Android or iOS and Android both. Why? Because if you are selecting Android, you can display the Android app on Google Play Store. An iOS app will be displayed in Apple Play Store. And if we talk about Android and Google app, it will be placed in both Google and Apple Play Store. Now, the entire journey doesn't end there. You need to pay a fee to Google to host your app. You need to pay a fee to Apple to host your app. If you develop an Apple app or an iOS app, it's going to cost a lot of money depending on your requirement. Comparatively lesser amount needs to be invested if you are investing on an Android app. So it depends on your budget. And you need to keep one thing in mind. If your target market is India, and if your target market is Apple phones, so most of them would go for Google Play Store. So most of them select Android platform. So you need to understand the financial condition of your target customer and whom exactly you would be targeting. That is very important. And lastly, what exactly is important is that you need to ensure the security of your app. What happens is, most of these hacks are not secure. As a result, what happens is, at times these apps store the financial information of the potential customer, or let's say personal information of the customer. Like, let's say, for example, when you download a particular app, at times they go ahead and take your permission to go ahead and access your photographs, videos on the mobile phone, right? So what happens is that you feel that you give the access and rest you don't know. But again, the app is keeping a track of your entire telephone app or data. Now, this data, when being stored in your app, you need to take that particular guarantee that your customer or your potential customer who is downloading your app, their data is secure. So you need to ensure the security of the app, because once you ensure the security, once you ensure the user interface, once you ensure the platform, once you drop these things in the roadmap, it rest becomes quite easy. Now, if your question is related to how exactly you're going to develop an app, that's a complete different topic. uh, you have to select the platform at first, softwares that you are going to decide depending on the platform. Like for example, for iOS, you can select Ionic, as I stated, or Xamarin, or Firebase. So depending on the platform that you'll be using, you have to select the entire platform. And for, let's say, for Android, you have to Android apps are basically made in Java, so you need to select platform for that. So that's a different topic. I won't get in details because if I get into details, it's going to take another 1 hour. I cannot complete it just like that.
Totally understandable. But I hope he got the answer. So moving to next question. Uh, how to manage state best library for state management?
Okay. You're saying by library storing the data. That's what exactly is meant. Is
Yeah,
that what the question meant, Puneet?
yeah, I think that's what he's asking.
Okay. Well, if you manage the state, like how to manage the state best library for state management. Well, to be very honest, I am actually not really sure about this question. I did not. I don't think I have understood this question. If you can rephrase it, that's very good. But again, if you're talking about the data security, I would say that it is very important to have a few software in place. Uh, you mostly people are using AWS in terms of hosting because that is for application hosting. That is one of the secure platform, and they do provide you with proper security so that your data doesn't get lost in the entire process. But again, I'm not really sure if that is the question because if he asks me rephrases the question, it would be easier for me to answer perhaps.
No problem, no problem. Uh, moving to next question. How is Flutter better than Android?
Well, that's a technical question. I cannot get into the technical question. Please do not get into the technicalities because if I get into technicalities, it would take a lot of time. All
Exactly.
right, and we are running short of time out here.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Asked by Monica, how will the field of app development change with the upcoming tech like metaverse?
That's a good question. Uh, well, to be very honest, this entire thing about metaverse and augmented reality, it has actually gone ahead and introduced a new concept even in India. Like I'll share with you. Last year I was in a seminar where where there were big Fortune 500 companies and there were people from the minister level, and people were focusing more on having virtual setups rather than investing more on having physical setups, and that is only possible through augmented reality, to be very honest. uh, to have that virtual setup and to conduct. I'm not really sure if that is possible for running the business properly, but again, that is a huge potential if that is covered. And metaverse has taken the first step towards it. So, if you are talking about how will the field of app development change with the upcoming tech like metaverse, app development might become completely. Metaverse is all related to augmented reality, and app development needs to get connected to augmented reality to ensure that both of them function together. So some sort of innovation needs to be in place if we are planning to connect. But again, I guess even Mark Zuckerberg is working towards it. Experts are there, they are working towards it. Nothing has yet been finalized, but again, I'm sure something or the other, as I said, keep on upgrading. There must be someone or the other who is coming up with this.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving next question, asked by Vijay. So he's asking that how is the app development market for the freelancers? That's a very great question for the college students too.
Right, right. So, to be very honest, if you're in India and you're a freelancer, you do not have much future. Why exactly I'm saying that, I'll tell you, because yeah, our neighbors, all right, our neighboring countries, I'm not going to take the names because it's going to be online. They offer services at really cheap rates, which you cannot afford. All right, even being a freelancer, because you'll be investing, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in developing an app and charging $20 and $30. It's not going to fetch much benefit. But again, to answer your question, how is the app development market for freelancers? The market is good. The market is good, but you need to hook the right customer. By saying that, I mean that there is a certain ratio in the market or certain ratio of customer in the market who will always go for cheaper rates. And if you, being an app developer, are planning to go ahead and get those customers, it's not going to fetch any benefit for you because they are not going to pay in the end of the day. So you need to find the right customer and pitch to them accordingly. Market is good, but again, you need to show what exactly you can do. Because most of these customers about whom we are talking right now, these customers will look forward to go through your portfolio before they award you the project. So you need to have worked on certain, app development projects before targeting these customers. But if you are an expert, if you have worked on, if you have a good portfolio, you just need to work a bit little harder, but you can get the right set of customers. We as a company, we faced huge challenge in this particular field. We have faced challenge because our neighboring countries, they are charging $20, $30 for developing an app, which is next to impossible. If we consider us as a company, $30 in an app development, it's not going to even fetch the expense of my electricity bill. So forget about covering the salary of my developer. So you need to understand the right set of customer. The moment we understood, we segregated the right customer, high profile clients, we pitch them with proper business proposal. You start getting proper response from the market.
Okay. Yeah. So, is there any more question left? No. So now some compliment. Krish Khattar is saying it's a great session,
Thank you.
and also Ria has mentioned that great session, very informative presentation.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I think you guys are doing a great job, and I wish you guys all the best for the future endeavors. I hope you guys, whoever has attended the session or will be watching this video later on, even you, Ajay, that you guys have bright future ahead, and I hope that we'll get to meet someday face to face if we get the
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And we have come to an end of question and answer sessions. Now, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, sir, for providing us your time.
Thank you.
Now,
My pleasure.
yeah. So for more info, you can visit the link showing in the banner below, where you will find everything related to our upcoming webinars, workshops, and all offline sessions. You can also join us on Discord. I promise you, we are very welcoming to newbies. Just say hi in the welcome, and we'll bring you right in. All the links will be shown below. We'll be having hackathon in hybrid mode. We are having multiple online sessions and webinars. This is only the second session, and we will have a lot more in the future. You can click on the bell icon to be notified for the same. We are having the offline session of HTM at Maharashtra International Institute of Research and Studies on 17th and 18th, and we are really hope we all see all you there soon. And follow our page on Instagram for regular updates on Hackathon too. Coming to a close now, Mr. Indrashish, would you like to comment anything else, sir?
Well, well, if you are looking forward to one particular suggestion that I have from my personal life is,
Yeah,
you guys are young. Most of you are maybe in your early 20s or late teens or mid
yeah.
20s, maybe. Um, One thing about life is never stop learning, all right? And it's a process which will keep on teaching you different things. There will be times when you'll feel demotivated. You will feel that nothing is working out. You'll feel all is lost. But it's important for you to remember during these times why exactly you started the entire journey, all right? And why exactly you are you, and the other person on the other side is that person. You are special. Always keep that in mind.
So exactly. That was truth. It was a like fact of life. Actually, we have to differentiate us from others, and we have to give us the that much importance which we are not giving us. Yeah. So thank you once again for this wonderful session today. And all right, that's all, folks. We'll see you again soon in the next session. Once again, I'd like to remind you that there is a lot to learn from such green minds. There is a lot to explore. Thank you so much, guys, for joining once again.